Woo! Thanks so much, Scott. Woo! Welcome, welcome! Greetings, web spinners! Oh! Welcome to your friendly neighborhood performers online open mic night experience, courtesy of your friendly neighborhood performers. I am your delighted host, Brittany Cohen. And I'm so happy to be back sharing all the love through the screen tonight. I am thrilled because it's a super special Halloween edition of our open mics. We're going to keep it spooky. I know the world is spooky right now, but this is going to be a lot of spooky fun, spooky, scary fun. Let's see if our viewers can count how many times I say the word spooky tonight. Yes, there's your challenge. Count how many times I say the word spooky, and if you get an accurate amount, then I'll write you a poem. So throughout the night, as always, I'm going to be giving you guys shout outs. So if you're here, send me a text, send me a message, type into the YouTube chat, let me know you're here, and I'll give you a little shout out. All right. So I see my dear friend Sam is here. Hi, Sam. Sam's a repeat viewer. I'm so glad that you're here watching. Love it, love it, love it. I'm going to just log out of Facebook. You know, it'd be like that sometime. All right. Cool. So I'm really excited to have you guys all here for our super special Halloween edition of our open mics. I know it's a little bit early, but you know, I think we're at a time in our world where we need some Halloween fun. Halloween is not canceled, especially tonight. All right, so we have a spine-chillingly amazing lineup tonight. I just love this lineup. A nice mix of music and poetry and film discussion and all kinds of great spooky stuff. And I'm going to bring them out in just a moment. But as always, I want to talk to you guys about why we're all here. Oh, shout out to my dad. Hi, Dad. My dad's always watching. Nice to see you. Thanks for watching. So why are we here? We started out, as always, as being an open mic that promoted like COVID relief. But with the world the way it is and being as spooky as it is, I just said spooky, we have more responsibilities at hand. So we are now promoting the Black Lives Matter movement, at-risk youth in general who are going through distance learning and need some emotional support. We're supporting the LGBTQ community, and we're supporting causes that my dear friend Jonathan Matos really cared about. Jonathan Matos, my tech guy in the sky, please be with us, making sure that all our tech stuff is strong and ready to go. So before I bring out my performers, also challenge to our viewers. If you notice, I have a little spider friend on my head. Give him a cool name, and maybe that's what I'll name my poem. We'll see. So yeah, usually I perform poetry, but I thought because we have a spooky Halloween edition of our open mics that I would bring my Cohen Cajon back out. Here we are. I thought I would bring my Cohen Cajon back out. Hello, Cohen Cajon. And I would perform some spooky, scary songs for you tonight. So you'll see one now. And at the end, stay tuned. At the end, you'll see another spooky, scary performance on the Cajon. All right. So lately, I don't know. With quarantine and everything, you might kind of feel like you're stuck in a haunted house, right? Or you might feel like a haunted house inside. And I found a song that kind of really closely relates to that concept of haunted houses. But somebody who kind of made it through all the haunted houses, like a haunted house within himself, and he came up with this beautiful song. I'm talking about Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance. He certainly made it through that haunted house in his own heart, and he's like happy now, and it's wonderful. And he has this song called Baby You're a Haunted House. So I'm going to do my own cajon rendition of Baby You're a Haunted House by Gerard Way. Give me 1 second to share my screen and bring this all up. Shira just reminded me to breathe. When times get scary up here, it's not always easy being up here and hosting. I mean, it's always fun, but I do get nervous. And Shira is making it a lot less scary and reminding me to breathe. Thank you, Shira. I appreciate you. You'll see her later. She's lovely. But now, without further ado, I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and you can watch this cool video while I play my cajon to it. And also to performers out there, I'm sorry, not performers, to viewers out there, type into the chat or let me know later anything that you want me to perform on my cajon in future open mics. I'm up for requests. Okay. So here we go. Without further ado, Baby You're a Haunted House. Let me just try this one more time. Oh, the horrors of technology. Okay, here we go. Okay. Thank you. Woo! Quick before the next My Chemical Romance song starts. Awesome. Yay. Thank you guys for listening. I'm going to turn my screen back around. That song is such a jam. Thanks, Sam. It is a jam. Wow, that rhymed. Sam, it's a jam. Maybe that'll be my next poem. Thank you guys for listening to that. Again, if you're here and you're watching, let me know, and I will give you a shout out. Thanks, you guys, for being here again. Yeah, playing that cajon has been my way of like expressing myself musically, and it's been really great. And if you want to support those, if you would like to support other performers, go ahead and check out that GoFundMe page, the Philadelphia Performance Art Fund. All the funds go towards performance artists who might be out of work right now or not able to get gigs right now. So help them out. And that's something that I think is really special that we do here, is those who can't get out right now and perform have a place to do so. And I'm really, really honored all the time that I get to have such great performers out here. Speaking of somebody who uses their time in such a special way, especially like over quarantine and even further than that, who's always willing to share their music and bring their love across the stream, I want to bring out our first friendly neighborhood performer. He is new to our lineup. He's swinging by for the first time, but he's very, very special to me. He's an incredible musician. He's been entertaining with his music through live streams, and he's been amazing. He's been a wonderful source of entertainment throughout this really scary time, spooky time. There's another one. I would like to bring out, swinging by for the first time, our first friendly neighborhood performer, my dear, lovely friend, Scott Erickson. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you. It is very nice to be here. Let's see. I'm not going to talk too much. Halloween spirit, perennial Halloween midnight movie. Here you go. Michael Rennie was ill the day the earth stood still, but he told us where we stand. And Flash Gordon was there in silver underwear. Claude Rains was the invisible man. Then something went wrong for Fairy and King Kong. They got caught in a celluloid jam. Then at a deadly pace it came from outer space. And this is how the message ran. feature picture show. From the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Just because. And I wasn't planning on doing this one, but we needed something for Halloween-ish. So. Saw a werewolf with a Chinese menu in his hand. He was walking through the streets of Soho in the rain. He was looking for a place called Lee Ho Foods. Gonna get a big dish of beef chow mein. Werewolves of London. Werewolves of London. If you hear him howling round your kitchen door, you better not let him in. Little old lady got laid late last night. Werewolves of London again. Werewolves of London. Werewolves of London. Well, he's the hairy-handed gent who ran amok in Kent. Lately he's been overheard in Mayfair. Better stay away from him. He'll rip your lungs out, Jim. I'd like to meet his tailor. Werewolves of London. Werewolves of London. Well, I saw a werewolf drinking a pina colada Trader Vic's. His hair was perfect. And I saw Lon Chaney Jr. walking with the Queen, doing the Werewolves of London. Yes, I saw Lon Chaney walking with the Queen, doing the Werewolves of London. Werewolves of London. Werewolves of London. All draw blood. Oh, some Warren Zevon. All right, I have one more song. I have one more, and this isn't so much a scary song. I actually had wanted to play this one last month, but I got called away at the last minute, and I had literally learned this song specifically for last month's open mic, and I'm glad Brittany let me come back this month and do it. So it's not so much scary as it is a song that's it's pretty old, but it's a song that's it's as relevant now as it was when it was originally written. So I'm going to do that one, and that's going to be it for me. But Brittany, thank you so much for having me. It has been a blast being here, and thank you everybody all the performers tonight. And let's see. Let's do this last song for you guys. Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. For the times they are a-changing. Come, writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin. And there's no telling who that it's naming, for the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are a-changing. Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall. For he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. There's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your halls, for the times they are a-changing. Come mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you don't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the old one if you can lend a hand, for the times they are a-changing. The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, and the present one now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be last, for the times they are a-changing. Yes, the first one now will later be last, for the times they are a-changing. Thanks very much. That's going to do it for me.
All right. Woo! Give it up for Scott Erickson. Thank you so much, Scott. Love you. Thank you so much for being here. Awesome. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. Woo! Give it up for Scott. That was amazing, Scott. You got some really good feedback. Sam was typing into the chat the whole time saying, awesome, Rocky Horror for days, appreciate you, dude, woo, like all kinds of great stuff. This song's such a jam. And as always, our friendly neighborhood performers have been so friendly to each other, saying great tunes. Scott, nice, Scott. Always happy to hear your music, and I'm honored that you got to be on tonight with us. That was wonderful. Want to give a shout out to, I meant to shout him out before, to Zach, who is hanging out with our performer Ryan, who will be on later. Zach was super nice, and he said, you're going to be fine. And it was really nice and motivating and encouraging. So shout out to you, Zach. Thanks for watching. Thank you for being such a support to our friendly neighborhood performers tonight. Just some things that I thought about when Scott was performing. As well, where, you know, when he was singing, times they are changing. They are, for better, for worse, things are changing in our world. And if you want to make a change and you feel like you're stuck in your haunted house and you don't really know how, and you can't really get out there and protest or do what you need or do what you can do, you're still valid and you can still help. And if you want to check out some GoFundMe pages, on the event page, there's a really good master link of bail funds and legal aid, and that's all for people who can't get out there in March. They can still support through that list. It's called National Resource List #George Floyd. There's also Beyond the Streets, 25 ways to be in the struggle beyond the streets. So again, it's ways to show your support when you can't get out there. So please check that out. If at any point tonight you're really interested in a GoFundMe page and a charity that I mentioned, you can, you know, message me, text me, whatever, and ask me, and I'll send you the information for like what you might need to support whatever causes. However, even just watching, sharing, donating, whatever you're doing, it all helps. It's all valid. It's all wonderful. And thank you guys. All right. So, Scott was performing Rocky Horror, and that was such a nice surprise. I loved that. And when worlds collide. Speaking of worlds colliding, our next performer that I'm bringing up here is actually a friend of another friendly neighborhood performer. He was recommended to me by Ryan, who you'll see later. He's a wonderful poet. He is swinging by for the first time, our new friendly neighborhood performer. I've heard he's wonderful, and I can't wait to bring him out for the first time. It's just wonderful how there's just connections being made all over, and the word is getting out. I'm getting new performers all the time, and it's so wonderful. And thank you guys for continuing to support this and want to be a part of it. But without further ado, I want to bring out our new friendly neighborhood performer, Mr. Todd Evans. He's going to do some poetry for us. Give it up for Todd! Woo! I apologize, Todd. You were muted. There you go.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to be here. I enjoyed Scott. Again, my name is Todd Evans. I'm a poet. I'm an open mic host of a couple events. One is Story and Verse in Princeton, New Jersey. We just took a season break. And the Willenboro Open Mic in South Jersey will be starting back up November 20th, 6 p.m. at the Willenboro Kennedy Center. If anybody wants information about that, just hit me up. I'm on Facebook, Todd Evans. I'm going to do a couple of poems. I do apologize. I didn't have any scary ones, or at least I didn't think I did. And then I had this poem that got published about a week ago, and it is kind of scary. If you look at it, I think it's scary. And imagine a huge, you ever seen those old haunted house movies with the big giant tree out in front of the house and the big long scary branches? Well, imagine that tree, and we'll call it the bigger tree. Look at it, how it towers over us. Its roots of hatred so deeply entrenched in us that we now lament over its effect and shrug off what it causes. Its branches of hatred offshoot violent leaves of contempt. Its trunk thick with ignorance, it never seems to bloom, but regurgitate dead leaves of lynching and hate. What some want to rake away into one big pile of resentment and bitterness, which covers up a righteous anger. This tree offered no shade as it grows eerily through our roof of morality and common decency. This tree looms over us, enraging some, engulfing others. But this tree must be cut down. And as it falls, it will cause oh so much damage. But it has to come down. And I'm also on grandpa duty, also. Excuse me. I'm doing something right now. Okay? Go see Nana. Debbie, go see Nana. She's going to help you. Okay. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. My next poem, and I apologize about that, but I'm on grandpa duty at the same time. My next poem is a poem called, it is called The Question. And it was about a conversation I heard at Thanksgiving dinner time. And people were arguing and having a discussion over what color God was. And this is a poem that I came up with. A dude asked me what color God was. I asked him why, and he said because. Well, we knew that red was the color of his number one foe, but as the God we just did not know. So we asked the man from the Ku Klux Klan who said why God just had to be white and nothing else would be right. We weren't sure, and we asked one more. The militant said the Bible happened in Africa, and that's a fact. So God had to be a brother, and his skin was black. Well, this was getting tricky, real confusing, and I didn't know what to do. Then came Jose, who said, man, God had to be Hispanic, so don't panic. So God had to be Hispanic, so don't panic. Now, this was getting tricky, real confusing, and we didn't know what to do. I have to start that all over. I am so sorry. So sorry.
Give it up for Todd. He's doing an amazing job so far. Keep going, Todd. You're doing great.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I got a little thrown off by my granddaughter. All right. 1 second. Debbie, I need your help. I messed the whole. You hear me? The question. A dude asked me what color God was. I asked him why, and he said because. Well, he knew that red was the color of his number one foe, but as the God, he just didn't know. So we asked the man from the Ku Klux Klan who said, why God just had to be white, nothing else would be right. We weren't sure, so we asked one more. The militant said the Bible happened in Africa, and that's a fact. So God had to be a brother, and his skin was black. Well, this was getting tricky, real confusing, I must tell you, and we weren't sure what to do. Then came Jose, who said, man, don't panic. God had to be Hispanic. Now, wait a minute. Stop this mess. I have the answer, I must confess, but hold on tight and fasten your seat, because this answer is going to knock you off your feet. How about God is the color of love that covers us all, that makes us feel worthy and makes us stand tall? And last but not least, he's the color of peace. So the next time someone asks you about God's color or gender, look back and smile. Tell them to pull up a chair. This could take a while. Thank you. That was a question after like 52 tries, but I did not know my granddaughter was going to come. This last poem I will do, I'll make it real. I'll do. It's dedicated to my hometown of Trenton, New Jersey. And right now, I don't know about those who know about it, but it's like off the hook. It's a lot of young black men just killing each other. I don't know if it's gang related, street related, whatever it is, but it's terrible. And you'll see these monuments of wine bottles and teddy bears, and it's paying respect to the dead, but dead for what? Wine bottles and teddy bears, that's what we do. Wine bottles and teddy bears, but do we really care? It's people dying out there while we're flipping gang signs and drinking cheap wine and doing the same ritualistic BS each and every time somebody dies. Pouring that wine on the ground as that strange fruit falls down, talking about he was my man or she was my homie or he was my cuz. But did you really know who they really was? Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. It's people dying out there. And for what? A fool with a gun over some colors or a messed up package, just leaving us more of this horrible wreckage. Black or white, it ain't right. It's just leaving us more of this horrible wreckage. It's new age, worldwide hood rat genocide. It's scary, it's bone chilling, it's nothing to commemorate, it's nothing to celebrate. Buck, 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 they shoot and duck. Bang, 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 they shoot and duck. Another person shot down, another person gunned down as the strange, sick fruit falls to the ground. And I thank you, and thanks for bearing with me and my special guest star. All right, thank you.
All right, woo! Give it up for Todd. Woo! Todd, thank you so much. I thought all of that was absolutely beautiful. I have heard that your poetry was amazing and absolutely blew me away. And special shout out to your granddaughter. She's adorable. That was really wonderful. I think something cute about doing this online and from our own homes is that we get to see into each other's homes, and I think that's really, really sweet. She certainly brought joy to my heart, and I'm sure to everybody else. That was like a really nice nice little moment there. Thank you for thank you for sharing your poetry with us and working through it. You got some really good comments in the chat. Sam said all that while running grandpop duty. Incredible, very powerful. Whoever OPEC is, shout out to you. OPEC says very powerful, Todd. If you let me know your real name, I can shout you out, or we'll just call you OPEC. Thank you. So, some things that came to mind when I was hearing Todd read his poetry, which was all just amazing. Some things that came to mind there. So, we're all about family. We have our families at home, and if you want to reach out to families that are struggling from COVID right now and need help with rent relief, there's a really great page that I just found out about recently. It's called hashtag Rent Relief for Families. It's to provide funding for families who are at home who need some funding so that they can pay their rent. Even if you just share the page, that's amazing. If you can donate, that's great too. So please support all families out there that are struggling from COVID-19 and need a little bit of financial assistance. Speaking of children, I wanted to promote again, there was, OPEC is Fred! King, Fred! I'm so glad you're watching. Shout out to you. Yay! So as I was saying, support the Shriners Hospital for Children. That was Shriners Hospital was very important to my dear friend Jonathan Matjos, with a very important person to me who helped start off these open mics. For those of you who don't know, he was a strong supporter of Shriners Hospital because they helped him through his medical needs. So there's a GoFundMe page. Actually, it's a Donate Love to the Rescue page on the event page for Shriners Hospital. So look out for your kids and support those in need. Also, speaking of kids, there's a really good page on there. Todd had mentioned in his poem, The Color of Peace. That's a beautiful line. And speaking of coloring, and colors and supporting children, there is a GoFundMe page. I'm just bringing it up here. Thanks for being with me. I want to make sure I get everything right. I want to make sure I get the titles right. There is a GoFundMe page that I found out about. It's a program in Pittsburgh, and it supports funding for improving the mental and emotional development of at-risk youth by providing supplies for them to create their own storybooks. It's called A Book for Every Boy. So we're hearing a lot of wonderful words tonight, and if you want to help kids make their own words and turn them into a storybook, then go ahead and check that out, A Book for Every Boy. That's a GoFundMe page. If you want to know more about that, I can send it to you. And also we are supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, the violence and things that are going on out there. Support the Black Lives Matter movement so we can take care of them as well. If you want to support the Philadelphia Bailout Fund, that is on there too. When Todd, Todd was talking about grandpop duty, it kind of reminded me of, family members like grandpa, uncle, aunt, things like that, right? So I wanted to promote, and I'm going to bring our next performer out soon. I know I'm talking a lot, but I wanted to promote, I don't know, for some reason what came to mind was the word uncle. And I want to promote a Black-owned business in Germantown. They're a coffee shop / bookshop, and they're Black-owned and they're amazing. They're called Uncle Bobby's, and they have really great bagels, really great coffee, and a nice assortment of books. And they have books that are, they have everything. They have like Thich Nhat Hanh, like mindfulness stuff. They have LGBTQ books. They have Black Lives Matter books, everything. They're really, really great. So if you're in the area or if you're ever visiting Germantown, check out Uncle Bobby's. They're awesome. Okay. So, and again, throughout the performance, if you're watching, go ahead and type into the chat or message me or text me or send me a flying pigeon. Let me know you're here and I'll give you a shout out. So shout out to everybody who's watching and who's supporting. Who else is here? Awesome. Okay. So I want to bring out our next performer. I mentioned her earlier. In this scary world, it's great to have a sweet, bubbly, encouraging person. And me coming out here a little bit nervous every time. Shira gave me one of these. She shared her heart with me. And she's that kind of person. She just puts a smile on everybody's face. She's an educator, so she's out there doing her virtual learning thing. And she's an amazing educator, a great musician, a great artist, and I'm really, really delighted to bring her out again. She's a repeat Friendly Neighborhood performer. She makes everything less scary with her lovely personality, and I want to bring her out now so she can share her personality and her heart with you through her music. Everybody give it up for Shira! Take it away, Shira.
All right, now you hear me, I think. Hi, I'm gonna do some songs. As Brittany mentioned, I'm a preschool teacher, and so this is my second time performing at one of these. I usually only perform for kids, so I get a little antsy or whatever, awkward. Yeah, awkward's the word. But last time I said I would do a kid's song, because I have some kid songs I like to do. So I'm going to start with one of those. If God's adult granddaughters around, she might like this. But I think grown-ups might like it too, because I like it. It's a spring song I played at quarantine when I was teaching online with the 2-year-olds, which was weird. Okay. Robin in the rain, what a saucy fellow. Robin in the rain, mind your socks of yellow. Running through the garden on your nimble feet, digging for your dinner with your long, strong beak. Robin in the rain, you don't mind the weather. Showers always make you gay, but the worms are wishing you would stay at home. Robin on a rainy day. I just like that one. So on the theme for tonight, this isn't like Halloween-y, but I think it's a little spooky just because it's kind of like spooky lyrics. I don't know. Let's see. Your granddad left home for the circus. He was young just like me, with hope to explore. He married a girl in Virginia. She swing the trapeze. They could sleep on the floor. Your mother was born in December, on the one sunny day that winter gave up. She had warm summer eyes that flickered like fireflies when she stared at the world. So why do you leave these stories unfinished? The Cheshire Cat door stopped with tears in her eyes. And why do you look when you've already found it? And what did you find that could leave you walking by? She was raised in a New England village, then she moved to LA with her firefly stare, and you loved Sunset Strip when it sparkled. You grew up and you sparkled, but why don't you care? And why do you leave these stories unfinished? The Cheshire Cat door stopped with tears in her eyes. And why do you look when you've already found me? And what did you find that could leave you walking by? And these nights I get high just from breathing. When I lie here with you, I'm sure that I'm real, like that firework over the freeway. I could stay here all day, but that's not how you feel. So why do you leave these questions unanswered? The circus awaits, you're already gone. The Cheshire Cat door stopped with fear in your smile. What makes it so easy for you to be walking by? And what did I do that you can't seem to want? We lie here and whisper goodbyes. Where can I go that your pictures won't haunt me? What makes it so easy for you to be walking by? Walking by. Walking by. That's that one. That is by Something Corporate. I guess I should give credit. The first song I did is, I think, by Raffi. At least that's where I first heard it. And now I'm gonna do one with Jake playing drums, because I asked him to share the screen with me, because I don't really perform except for kids, except this is the friendly neighborhood open mic, and since you guys are so friendly, I like to be a part of it. This one is for me in the spirit of Halloween, in that you dress up as something you're not on Halloween. And I love this song. I love to sing it, and I think it's awesome, but like, me and Sublime are not we don't have much in common. It's kind of like violent, and and I'm not. So this is my way of relating it to Halloween. Is that. Also, we did not rehearse this. I just decided what to play and then asked Jake to.
I know the beats per minute, so I'll just start tapping and you come in.
Okay. I'm just gonna play. I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball. Well, I had $1 million, but I'd spend it all if I could find that Hannah and that Sancho that she's found. Well, I'd pop a cap in Sancho and I'd slap her down. What I really wanna know, my baby, what I really wanna say, I can't define. Well, it's love that I need. Oh, my soul will have to wait till I get back. Find a hideout of my own. Daddy's got a love one and all. And I feel the break, feel the break, feel the break. And I gotta live it up. Oh yeah. Well, I swear that what I really wanna know, baby, what I really wanna say, I can't define. Got love, make it go. Oh, my soul will have to. You want a solo? My baby, what I really want to say is I've got mine. Now make it, yes, I'm coming up. Oh, tell Sanchito that if he knows what is good for him, he best go running high. Daddy's got a new 45. And I won't think twice to stick that barrel straight down Sancho's throat. Believe me when I say that I got something for his punk ass. What I really wanna know, my baby, what I really wanna say is there's just one way back, and I'll make it. We'll have to wait. Yeah. It was a fun, spontaneous duet.
Yeah.
Jake will be back, and that's it for me for this month.
Totally improv solo.
Give it up for Shara and Jake, also known as Shake. Love you guys. Hearts. All right. Give it up for Shara. Give it up for Jake. Shake. I love it's just wonderful. I love how much love comes through the screen every time we do these open mics. It's just beautiful. And like the combination of names, right? When we were Pandemic Passion and Poetry, we had Elon Dari, and they were like a kazoo violin duo. And now we have Shake. And I just love how like you guys just come together and perform, and all of that was lovely. Shara and Jake, all of that was absolutely adorable and lovely. And again, like just a pure example of turning such a scary world into providing such light in such a scary world. And Shira, thank you for all you do for your kids, and for making the best of this virtual learning world. Again, if you want to support our at-risk youth and support our kids, check out the GoFundMe pages on the event page. If you need any help doing that, reach out and I'll give you what you need. While Jake and Shira were performing, speaking of Elon Dari, we have one half of Elon Dari, Alana Berlin. Hello, Alana. It's good to see you. Thank you for watching. Much love. She was a part of Elon Dari, and she's showing her support by watching now. That reminds me that if you're watching, shoot me a message, shoot me a text. Send me a telegram, tell me that you're here, and I'll give you a shout out as always. Give it up for Shake again. And we're gonna see the other part of Shake later. Thank you, Sam, for all your support. So Sam said I gotta run. Huge thanks to Brittany for organizing and all the performers. Brought light to all of us tonight. Absolutely. I know it's our spooky, scary edition and it's dark and scary. Woo! But you guys really are bringing a light to this world and making it less scary, and that's wonderful. And just a reminder, check out those GoFundMe pages, the charity pages, if you need any help or need any help at all. Let me know, and I would be glad to help you support wherever you want to support. So up next. So in this dark, scary world, it's always great to have a friend. And I want to bring out our next performer. He's been with us since we were Pandemic Passion and Poetry. And ever since I've known him, he's been my super best friend ever. And he's brought so much light into this dark and scary world. And he is going to, when we first started doing these open mics, he shared a portion of his book that he's in the middle of writing called, you're going to correct me if I'm wrong, Etherelia. It's a fantasy book and it's wonderful. He's going to read a portion of that to you now. Give it up for my absolute best friend, repeat friendly neighborhood performer, Ryan Mead. Give it up for Ryan. Woo!
Hello. All right, guys. The portion of the book I have for you right now is set during a part in my main character, Shandy's life, where she's going through a trial called the Ordeal of Sleeplessness. So this is a point where she's been awake for about 2 weeks now. And some of her deepest, darkest traumas are starting to manifest. I just want to give a fair warning. A lot of the imagery here is going to be a little graphic. So if there are any young ones within earshot, it might be a good idea to hit that mute button. The sun had started to pierce through the trees as the ground beneath them rippled like a waving flag. A deep anxiety festered, as if I were a fugitive on the run. They all hate you, the little voice taunted. They know you're going to fail. They want you to. You're just seeing how long it will take for you to die. You're wrong, I muttered. That's not true. I lay back, propped up against the lone tree in the combat field. Urag, Yomar, and Guruk stood several yards away, speaking in a hushed tone. They're debating which way to kill you, said the voice. What way do you think they'll choose? Shut up, I hissed. Why can't you leave me alone for a moment? For the first time in my life, the voice laughed. It was a sickening sound, an eerie cackle that sent a shiver up my back. In a twisted, off-key voice, it began to sing. The little elf runs and shoots all her big guns, yet still she can't hide from the monster inside. Stop it, I whimpered, bringing my knees to my chest. Tears started to drip down my eyes. She wanted to fight, so ran off in the night and left her poor mother as if it were right. An orcish girl on the cusp of puberty walked into my line of sight. A noose dangled from her neck. Her dress was torn to bits, stained with dirt and blood. She sat down in the grass, smiling at the silent performance. Play soldier she did. From her problem she hid, to pillage and slaughter some innocent kids. The orcish girl nodded along as other children came to join. Boys and girls, gunshot wounds, sat beside her, listening intently. No, 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 I muttered. None of this is true. None of this is real. Still, the voice went on, unrelenting. And now she's insane, and she can't stop her brain from conjuring phantoms, so let me explain. More orcs joined the crowd. Men and women bearing the scars of their death all sat around, cooing in adoration to the song. These monsters you hate, well, I'm happy to state we will always be with you. We're bound to your fate. None of this is real, I whimpered. None of it. The orcs now stood in a great number, encircling me. Their lips formed the words the little voice sang. We love you, my dear, and will always be near to remind you we hate you and to live life in fear. The dead orcs cheered and applauded as I wept. I covered my ears, yet their joy at my suffering remained unmuted. The world around me became dark. The only thing before me were the specters of my sins. Soon, they too were gone. I was alone. Nothing but the tree supporting my back was around. I stared into the void. Hello? I called out, hoping to sense someone's presence. My cry echoed far into the nothingness. Nothing. I sighed with relief, thankful for the reprieve. Happy Halloween, everyone. I hope that was spooky enough for you all. If you're interested in reading more, my book is on Wattpad. You can search it Etherelia. My author name is Manically Aware on Wattpad. And yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to unmute. Ah, give it up for Ryan! Woo! Thank you so much, Ryan. Much love. Woo! So yeah, I am Etherelia. My mistake. I knew I was gonna pronounce that incorrectly. But yes, check out Etherelia on Ryan's Wattpad account. Maniacally Aware. If you need the link to that, go ahead and shoot me a message and I can send it along. It's a really great book so far. I've had the honor of reading it since he's began writing it, and I'm a huge fan. And it's going to be on the shelves one day. I just know it. Thank you so much, Ryan. Woo! Always a wonderful time having you. Oh, Todd, thank you so much for being here. Go be awesome. Go put those babies to sleep. Thank you so much for being here, Todd. And thank you, Ryan. So Ryan, as I typically mention when he's on here, Ryan's a strong advocate for the LGBTQ community. And if you're interested in helping out the LGBTQ community, there is a GoFundMe page. Let me pull it up for a second. There's an organization called the It Gets Better Project, and that's all about supporting the LGBTQ community, funding and awareness and all of that. So check that out. It's a great organization. The link for that is on the event page, and if you need it, let me know. And speaking of words and books, there is a link on here that helps you to support the Free Library of Philadelphia. It's under general donate form. It's on the event page. If you need it, I can send it along. Support the Free Library of Philadelphia funding for that, so that we can get all those words on the shelves and into your hands. Thank you so much, Ryan. Again, wonderful. Just something that I love so much is promoting the creative hearts of my performers. It's such an honor to I was going to say work with, but no, it's such an honor to be surrounded and to promote such talented people. And I just want to give a shout out to my performers. You guys are all amazing, and I love you all, and I'm so proud of you. A performer that I want to bring up who's just always such an incredible support in every single way, and he's made this whole pandemic so much easier, is my boyfriend Alex Palma. Over quarantine and really just all the time, something that we really like to do together is watch films. And we like to, whether they're scary films or not, we're really into watching films and analyzing them and discussing them. And Alex is always like, let's take the time to talk about this. And it's wonderful. And I'm going to bring him up in just a minute. And in lieu of Halloween and scary things, Alex is going to come up and he is going to talk to us about tragic deaths of film directors. Super scary stuff. Now, Alex is not going to be seen, but listen closely to his voice. And he's amazing. He made this awesome PowerPoint that I'm going to pull up. I'm going to share it. So just give me a second. I'm going to share it. Let me open it up. I'll share it with you. And so you have a visual to this presentation. You can watch while Alex is speaking. He's going to tell you guys about tragic deaths in cinema. Just give me 1 second to pull this up. And Alex, I'm going to stay up on this stream with you. And then I'm going to stay up on the stream with you, I think, so that I can keep the PowerPoint up there. We're all in this together, right? All right. So I'm going to share my screen. And I would like to welcome to the stage my wonderful, lovely, insightful, brilliant boyfriend, Alex Palma. Give it up for Alex. Woo!
Get a yeah in the chat. Hello. I am not on camera because we're going to look at a PowerPoint. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Brittany's muted. Brittany, you're muted. There you go.
We're going to echo for a second, but Alex, go ahead and talk for a second while I pull this up. If you want to introduce what you have here.
Yeah, so I'm going to give a micro lecture about two film directors that died under extremely unusual and mysterious circumstances. Pierre Pasolini and Andrei Tarkovsky. They both died exactly at the age of 54. Pasolini was an Italian film director and Tarkovsky was Russian. And this will be real quick once we get the slides going.
Is this okay?
Yeah, I guess I'll just say next slide and have you move it to the next slide when it's ready.
Okay. All right. I'm going to mute myself, but yeah, just say next slide and I'll do that for you. Everybody give it up for Alex.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna yacht in the chat. Hell yeah. Okay. So if you want to present, I'll be able to start going. It should be under view. There you go. And yeah, this is a film still from one of Pasolini's films, Pigsty. Next up. So, next slide. So, who was Pier Pasolini? Well, he was born in Bologna, Italy. He got his start as a school teacher and kind of wanted to be a writer. His first couple of movies were actually written on books that he'd written. In his early adulthood, he became very political, and he would make speeches and he would write polemics. This was during the Mussolini era, so during the 30s and early 40s. His mom was very anti-fascist, while his dad was like literally in the Italian army supporting Mussolini. Pasolini, though, eventually became communist, and he was thrown out of the Communist Party twice because he was gay. And the Communist Party of Italy was not down with that at that time. So Pasolini eventually lost his job being a teacher, partially because of he was gay, and also some students accused him of like sort of making advances on them. But nonetheless, he ended up getting a job at Cinecittà, which is a Italian film production company. And he worked under Fellini, who was another big Italian director. And he had some voice lines, he did some acting, and then eventually he got to direct his first film, Accattone, in 1961. Next slide. So what are Pasolini's films like? Pasolini is kind of known as like an international art house director. He's probably pretty famous, pretty important in like the legacy of film history. Actually, if you can go back one slide, I want to point out something. So if Fred is still here, I just want to point out that grave that Pasolini is by is the grave of Antonio Gramsci, who was a Italian Marxist theorist. You can actually see the name Gramsci on the grave. Next slide again. And so Pasolini's films were initially like very like, random, realist, like interpersonal drama, but they eventually became much more interested in like religious and mythological themes. He did a movie based on Oedipus Rex. He did a movie based on the Gospel according to St. Matthew. And increasingly, his films became very interested in sex and BDSM. His most controversial film, Salo, was an attempt on his part to create like a sexual taxonomy of fascism. And what that means is that he wanted to depict the sort of psychoanalytic internal mindset of like living under fascism or whatever. It's extremely hard to watch Salo. I've never watched it. It's based on a Marquis de Sade book. It's not like for most people. But anyway, next slide. Pasolini died in 1975. He was found on a beach in Ostia, just outside of Rome. And he was really horrendously murdered. He had been beaten with crowbars and steel pipes and wooden clubs. He had been run over with a car. His bones had been deliberately broken. And to this day, nobody knows who killed him. In 1976, a man named Giuseppe Pelosi confessed to murdering Pasolini, but he retracted his confession in 2005. In 2005, he had alleged that he had been intimidated by a couple of shady characters with Southern Italian accents, he said, into confessing to the murders. So who killed Pasolini? The mafia? Was it anti-gay bigotry? There's some theories on the internet that some, because Salo was his last film, that like some of the actors were so traumatized by the intense sexual imagery of the movie that they like killed him over it. Or maybe because Pasolini was a communist and anti-fascist, that he was killed by fascists. Nobody knows. It's up in the air. Next slide, please. Thank you. So interestingly, Pasolini had a reoccurring column in the Corriere della Sera, which was an Italian newspaper. And he was a political writer, and he wrote column after column after column in which he accused the dominant political party in Italy, which was then the Christian Democratic Party, of collaborating with the CIA, the mafia, the Russians, the neo-fascists in Italy. And of course, he was seen at the time as being like a crazy conspiracy theorist. However, in the 90s, about 15 years after his death, his columns, which were seen as so crazy, were vindicated when they were used as evidence and led to this arrest and conviction of many former politicians for exactly the political corruption that they were charged with. So, Pasolini might have been getting close to something. He might have been killed over it. I don't know. It's a really weird story, and it's definitely a unique one in film history. All right, next slide. We're going to talk about Andrei Tarkovsky. So Andrei Tarkovsky, who you can see here in bed with a bunch of Russian icons, was a Russian film director. He was billed in Zavrazid, Russia. Sorry, I can't pronounce that at all. And early in his career, he was actually a scientist, and he specialized in mineralogy. And in his early 20s, during a research expedition to Turokhansk, he was literally in the middle of the tundra, and he just became disillusioned with life, disillusioned with his profession, and he decided to become a filmmaker. This was at the time, the late 1950s. His first feature film was Ivan's Childhood in 1962. And his 1984 book, which was written close to the end of his life, Sculpting in Time, is his sort of philosophy of film, and it's still considered very influential in the study of film. Tarkovsky, as you can see, was a devout Russian Orthodox Christian, which in the USSR at the time was, not uncontroversial. And his influence, that influence definitely plays out in his films, which we will see in his next slide, where we talk about Tarkovsky's films. Hopefully this video works, but we'll play in a minute. So Tarkovsky's films are very dialogue heavy. They're very dense and slow, but they're all also very thoughtful and very visually interesting, if you have the patience for them. A lot of his films sort of draw on the tradition of socialist realism, as did Pasolini's films, and that... Oop, I lost the screen.
I'm going to make sure that the audio is shared, so I'm just going to reshare it. You can keep talking while I do that. His films are very realistic, except for the sort of minor supernatural themes that they have occasionally. Really, Stalker is the one with the most major sort of supernatural theme, but we're actually going to watch a clip from Stalker, which is a 2-minute clip, and we'll see why. It'll be obvious why we are watching this after we watch it. So if you can put it on, I'd appreciate that. Oh, the video doesn't work. If I send you a link to the video, can you just play it real quick? Yeah, sure. Go ahead, send it along. Can we give it up for Alex? He's doing a great job. This is an awesome presentation. I had asked, hey, can you do something spooky? And this is what he came up with, and it's just wonderful. I'm gonna pull it up. Thank you guys for waiting. Oh, in lieu of Halloween, while you guys are waiting, tell me, what are your favorite Halloween movies, books? What are your favorites? Tell me in the in the chat, or text me or message me. What are your favorite Halloween classics? Oops. I know I really love.
Yeah, Fred is right. Tarkovsky is good.
Scott says Fright Night. Thank you, Scott, for being such an incredible support.
Is it working? If it's not
I know
working,
a lot of people are like heavily into like Hocus Pocus. Like there's so much like Hocus Pocus merchandise out. That's always a good one. Recently we were watching Edward Scissorhands with some friends over Discord. So like streaming, quarantine streaming, we were watching Edward Scissorhands. That's definitely one of my favorites. Bruce has The Sixth Sense. Yeah, that's a good one. And I'm gonna pull this up. Technology, am I right? Spooky in itself, but we're working through. We're getting it situated. Oop. Tarkovsky is king. Scott says Reanimator. Yeah. Cool. All right. So I have the video pulled up. I'm going to share it. Oh, my phone is listening to my voice. And it's being super spooky right now.
Sorry, I don't understand.
You don't have to understand Google. All right. Maybe this will inspire you as far as future films to watch. Hold on, I'm just going to make sure it's sharing the audio. As above, so below is what Ro says. Ro, thank you for being here. I'm glad you made it. I'm excited to have you on later. All right, here we go. Here's Stalker. Can we hear?
yeah, I can hear.
Вы знаете, мама была очень против. Вы ведь, наверное, уже поняли. Он же блаженный. Над ним вся округа смеялась. А он растяпа был, жалкий такой. А мама говорила, он же сталкер, он же смертник, он же вечный арестант. И дети. Вспомни, какие дети бывают у сталкеров. А я даже и не спорила. Я и сама про все это знала. И что смертник, и что вечный арестант, и про детей. А только что я могла сделать? А уверена была, что с ним мне будет хорошо. Я знала, что и горя будет много. Ну, только уж лучше горькое счастье, чем серая унылая жизнь. А, может быть, я все это потом придумала. А тогда он просто подошел ко мне и сказал, пойдем со мной. И я пошла. И никогда потом не жалела. Никогда. И горя было много, и страшно было, и стыдно было. Но я никогда не жалела и никогда никому не завидовала. Просто такая судьба. Такая жизнь, такие мы. А если бы не было в нашей жизни горя, то лучше бы не было. Хуже было бы. Потому что тогда и счастья бы тоже не было. И не было бы надежды. Вот.
Okay, cool. Thank you for bearing with me on that one. So that was a scene from Tarkovsky's film Stalker, which is usually considered his masterpiece film. And if you can go back to the PowerPoint slide, we'll wrap things up. So that scene and really the movie generally is a lot weirder and harder to watch when you consider what led to Tarkovsky's death. Next slide. So his that film was made in 1979, and it was a post-apocalyptic movie about a person who is kind of a class of person. There's more than one. Stalkers who are elite sort of scavenger class of individuals who lead people into the zone, as it were, to seek out this entity that lies at the heart of the zone, right? Now, this movie was shot at a lot of industrial sites, right, in Estonia, right? Abandoned factories, abandoned abandoned warehouses, salt refineries, power plants. And so the environment was really, really toxic. And after the production of the film was finished, the film had to be all reshot because the film that was used got messed up during the shoot, maybe because of some of the chemicals that the film was exposed to during the course of the film production. And the film had to be shot all over again in exposing the cast and crew to all this toxic shit again. And once the film was finished, many of the actors and stage crew were fatally affected. So 2 out of 3 of the main actors in the film died before the age of 50 because of lung cancer. And Tarkovsky himself also died of lung cancer, as did his wife Larissa, all from the production of this one movie. And so in 1985, the year before his death, just as he was diagnosed with, and we'll go to the last slide for this, just as he was diagnosed with lung cancer, Tarkovsky made his last film, which was called The Sacrifice. And the whole film, and this crazy movie, is just him trying to come to grips with the fact that he's dying. So very intimate sort of insight into what his world was like. And yeah, so anyway, that's 2 really messed up and sad deaths in cinema history. So there you go, kiddos, finger guns. If you have any questions, let me know. Also, watch Tarkovsky. You can go without watching Pasolini. Pasolini's good, but Tarkovsky's God.
All right. Thank you so much, Alex. Woo! Give it up for my lovely boyfriend, Alex, and that wonderful, really thoughtful presentation. I loved how all throughout we had performers that were offering their own favorite Halloween films, The Sixth Sense, Reanimator, As Above, So Below, Motel Hell. But yeah, go ahead. Definitely check out Tarkovsky and Pasolini if you'd like. If you have any other questions about anything related to to what Alex mentioned, I can even send you the PowerPoint. It's beautiful. Give it up for Alex. Alex, thank you so much. Woo! So Alex had mentioned Pasolini, in his relation to like the LGBTQ community. So again, support them with the It Gets Better project. Check that out. And whenever Alex performs, I like to promote something that he's really passionate about, which he told me about, and he's been great with reminding me to talk about, which is the Food Not Bomb Solidarity. They are an organization. They are an organization. Yes, they are. They provide food for the homeless, and I just want to get this right. Thanks for being patient. Food Not Bomb Solidarity. First, I know that they provide food for the homeless and for protesters that are out there and protesting. They give like pizza and fruit and all kinds of stuff to protesters after they've been marching, and they're doing really good work out there. If you want to help out or see them in action, food is shared Thursdays from 5 to 6 p.m. by the L Stop at 46th Street in Philly. So definitely check that out if you want more information on that. Let me know. Fred said, "Woo, Alex! Tarkovsky is king." I love how supportive our viewers are. Thank you to those who are still watching. Oh, shout out to my dear, lovely friend Noah, who just tuned in. Hi, Noah. Noah is super into all things spooky, so I'm glad that he's watching tonight. Hi, Noah. Much love to you. If you're watching and I haven't shouted you out yet, let me know you're here. Shoot me a message, a text. Let me know that you're here, and I'll give you a shout out. All right. So our next performer is a repeat performer. He goes way back to when we were Pandemic Passion and Poetry. I always love to bring him out. He's performing on the same night as his son Ryan, who you saw earlier, and I make this joke all the time, but he's a super neat guy, and it looks like he's playing it really safe. He's got a mask on. I'm super excited to bring him out. Our repeat friendly neighborhood performer. Everybody, welcome to the stage, wonderful poet, Bruce Neat. Woo! Go ahead, Bruce, take it away. Give it up for Bruce! Hold on, Bruce. Let me just unmute you. I apologize. There we go. You should be able to unmute now. Hang on, Bruce, you're muted. I think you have the ability to unmute yourself on your end. I tried to unmute you on my end. Yeah, you can unmute yourself, Bruce, if you're able to do that. Bruce, if you can hear me, can you unmute? Sorry about that, folks. Bruce, can you hear me? Bruce, can you hear me? Bruce, if you can hear me, yeah, that's technology, folks. Bruce, if you can hear me, I need you to unmute yourself. Technology's like that sometimes. Thank you guys for being patient. Hey, sorry about that, guys. Give it up for Bruce. We were having some technical difficulties. We're gonna bring Bruce back up later, but give it up for Bruce. We'll bring him back. Technology can be like that sometimes. We're living in a virtual world, and it's like that sometimes. Thank you for being patient with that. We're gonna keep going and get Bruce resituated. We'll bring him back later in the lineup, but we're gonna keep it moving. Thanks so much, Shira. Yeah, I'm gonna just continue. Let's see who is next in the lineup. We actually have, yeah, thank you guys. The spooky thing about technology sometimes is that it's totally unpredictable, right? Don't always know what's gonna happen, but that's okay. We're adjusting. Thank you guys for being patient. We're gonna keep it going, and we're gonna bring Bruce back later, and we're gonna keep moving on. So next in our lineup, we're going to keep moving. Next in our lineup, swinging by again as a friendly neighborhood performer, an educator, the other half of Shake. We're going to bring him up. And I would like to bring out to you a wonderful friend of mine, another wonderful light in this dark, scary world. Deals with all kinds of crazy technology stuff going on. As an educator, he's a wonderful performer. I want to bring him out, the other half of Shake. I'm bringing out Jake Rogers. Give it up for Jake Rogers. He's gonna play some music for us. Take it away, Jake. Woo!
How's everyone doing? So this is going to be like one of the other times. It'll be improv, and this is sort of an Eddie Van Halen tribute. Yeah, I was a huge fan of his before he died. It's pretty much on my head every day when I play, and I've been getting a little better over the last couple of months. I wasn't able to do any of that until quarantine, really. So this is fun. This is going to be a piece called Mice versus Hawk. And you should be able to pick up pretty easily on which segments are the happy mice and which is the more daunting hawk. But I'm just going to give it a shot, see what happens. Hopefully that sounds decent. Actually, Brittany, can you let me know super quick if the volume's all right?
An awesome date.
Just not too loud, not too crazy. All right. So here we go. Mice versus hawk. There's this part that's about to come up. That's called getting way out of tune. Oh, you beautiful mice, you stayed away from that hawk. He wants to come back. All right. I don't know how long that was, but that was fun. It was all improv. Eddie, one thing about Eddie, when he was on stage, if he messed up, he just kind of didn't care. And that's kind of what I'm going for here. So I might just do a little bit more, except this time I'm not even going to think that this is here. Well, thank you. It was fun, and all of you are doing amazing. Thank you, Brittany.
All right, give it up for Jake! Woo! Jake, I always love hearing you play. You are just incredible. Woo, give it up for Jake! Woo! A wonderful musician, an educator, and just a dear, beautiful person at heart. Always incredible. What an amazing tribute to Eddie Van Halen. Yeah, I know in these dark and scary times, we've been losing people here and there. Eddie Van Halen was one of them, but what a beautiful way to memorialize him through your music and through your personality. And thank you so much, Jake. Woo! Again, if you want to support performing artists on the GoFundMe page, there's the Philadelphia Performance Artist Fund. So go ahead and check that out so people like Jake can continue doing what they do. Thanks so much. Now, something just really sweet that I want to point out is I know Bruce was having some audio issues, and that happens. Technology is weird. But still, nonetheless, he's still an incredible friendly neighborhood performer because he bounced right back and he typed into the chat, amazing Jake. So what he was doing behind the scenes was just incredible. And I want to bring Bruce back out because I really want to hear his poetry, and I know you guys do too. This is a special comeback of Mr. Bruce Neitz and his unmuted poetry. Woo! Bring it up for Bruce. I'm sorry. Give it up for Bruce. Woo!
Thank you, Brittany. I apologize, everybody, for several minutes. I'm going to be reading a couple of poems from my latest chapbook, which is called April Calypse. And it's kind of a chronicle of the month of April in lockdown in New Jersey. And it's available for sale. If you're interested, you can contact me via Facebook Messenger, and I'll give you details on how you can get a copy of it. It's pretty cheap, so it's affordable. I'll read a couple of poems from that and a couple of Halloween for that. These kind of have a theme in themselves. This first one's called Zombie Moment. This moment, shambling in old boots, and I can't outrun it. It moans, drops little pieces of itself, and smells of dead fish. The air tastes acrid and feels like a slimy fog. The moment moans again in dark red. I want Rick Grimes back in Alexandria to save him, but maybe I don't need him. Maybe I can outrun it after all. I'll play some music to get me jumping, like the Stones. Get your yayas out. Zombies hate live music because they're dead, right? These air John, tiny blossoms of melody, but this season, flowers herald the apocalypse. I'll wield a samurai sword like Michonne, slice that moment's head clean off. Brucey Baby's a badass. He will flatten the curve. He'll do zombies 1, 2, 1, 2, and snicker snack. And the Deus Ex Machina, a friendly helicopter, will scoop me up in its arms as I wave to all groaning, fetid moments on the ground. This one's called Parenting and the Plague. I try to keep an optimistic, but yet I keep the locks turned tight, and try hard not to sound too dire with bedtime stories, sweet dreams which we wish each night, then steel myself from all news that shocks. Truth is, I need a tiny lift. I mourn those taken much too soon by this damn blue. I keep my shy young charges in I call a home and make sure it's not torn by stopping clocks. And this is one I just wrote, the same theme. It's called Halloween 2020. This is in a verse form, French verse form code called the Rime Cui. We decorate our homes this year with spooky things that foster fear and fun, we would agree. The boogeyman that spawns real dread is deadly and inclined to spread, yet much too small to see. When will it end, we want to ask? This fall we must all wear a mask, not to amuse or scare, but to protect us from the ghoul that's forced us to close shop and school. To live, we need to care. I want to make note of the fact that I'm wearing my Team Fauci hat tonight. I'm going to read a couple ghost poems. These are both previously published. The Ghosts Came. When the ghosts came, we left them oatmeal on the kitchen table. When the ghosts came, we left them pairs of galoshes on the stairs. When the ghosts came, we hung empty picture frames over the mantel, cleaned our golf clubs, and left out baseball cards for them to trade. When the ghosts came, we We made tents out of our bed sheets. When the ghost came, we left mouse traps in the cupboard. When the ghost came, we left the front porch light on. It was blue and covered the mirrors with old horror movie posters. When the ghost came, we took the radio all the way. When the ghost came, we let the cat out and the dog in. When the ghost came, we read tarot cards, got out. When the ghost came, we banged on Copalier. When the ghost came, we spread jam on the floor. Okay, I'm still having some technical difficulties. I don't know how much of those last poems you heard. Can you hear me, Brittany?
Yeah, your mic cut out for just a second, but can we give it up for Bruce for persevering through all of this? You're doing great, Bruce. Keep going. I think we just missed like
All right,
a little
I
bit.
got a couple. Okay, so this is a follow-up to the sort of. It was actually written before it, but this is what the ghosts say after they came. It's called Ghosts. We're what didn't happen because you missed the bus that day. We are what you thought you saw before you looked again. We are what makes you turn around when you think you're not alone. We are what shifts the eyelids between dreaming and waking. We are what lies just beyond the fog. We are the sound not heard, the light not seen, the thing not touched. We are the noise. We are the creak in the wall, but only when you think we're not. We are the whistle in the graveyard. We are not the wind, but the silence when it stops. We move between glances, just beyond the corner of the eye. We move like smoke of what you believe. We try very hard to stay out of your way. And we are tired, so very tired. Let's see. Things up a little bit. Some light verse. This one is called Halloween. It happens only once every few years, thank goodness, and not in between. An event that elicits my worst fears. Full moon on this night, Halloween. On the back of my hand is a pentagram. It's a difficult thing to refute. My future was programmed. Every month I would end up hirsute. I can feel that my 5 o'clock shadow is 3 days ahead. There's no doubt. Howl at the moon window, and my nose lengthens into a snout. My nails are looking more dagger, and my canines are sharpening up. My countenance morphs into haggard. I'm a seriously unsightly pup. As I slaver and scramble on all fours, the puzzle and ask, greeting me with a smile at the front doors, "Hey man, where'd you get the great mask?" I'm really a bona fide lycanthrope, not some kid out to play trick or treat. And I'll tell you, there's virtually no hope. I'll favor candy over red meat. And finally, here's a Halloween limerick. It's called Mistaken Identity. Said a pumpkin from Kalamazoo, Jack-o'-lantern I wish to be too. But he looked like a squash, so he got the kibosh. Now he's part of a vegetable stew. Thank you.
All right, give it up for Bruce. Bruce, thank you so much. I'm so glad we were able to hear all that. Thank you again for persevering through all of that weird technology stuff, but that was amazing. I always love hearing your poetry. definitely. Here's what I want to do is I'll make sure to on the event page, I'll promote some of Bruce's poetry. So anything that you weren't able to hear tonight, you'll be able to read. So Bruce, if you want to send me some of your poetry, some links, I will I'll promote that for you so you can read whatever you weren't able to hear tonight. But great job, Bruce. I always love hearing your poetry. A few times you had mentioned masks, and yeah, it is Halloween is right around the corner, but we're all wearing masks right now to keep ourselves safe. And what I thought about when Bruce was performing and referring to all kinds of masks, it made me think of this really great Black-owned business that I always love to promote. They have these great masks. This one says, "On my way to therapy, BRB." So they're called Mess in a Bottle. They're an online store. They're a Black-owned business, and they have really cute masks with really cute and motivating sayings. So Mess in a Bottle, the link to that store is on the event page. But if you want to know more about it, ask me, and I'll let you know how to keep it safe and get a cool mask from Mess in a Bottle. Again, thank you so much, Bruce. Woo! If you're still watching and I haven't given you a shout out, if you're just tuning in, let me know you're here. Message me, text me, let me know you're here, and I'll give you a shout out. Thank you to those who have been watching. We're running a little bit longer tonight, but like that's really awesome. Thank you guys for sticking with us. So we have one more performer, and then I have a special little thing to do at the end, and then we'll end out for the night. So stay tuned in, keep watching, keep sharing your love. I love every single one of you who are watching and supporting. And without further ado, I want to bring out our next friendly neighborhood performer. They are new to the lineup, but all the more wonderful. I've heard great things about their poetry. They're going to come to you now, and they're going to share their beautiful poetry. I would like to bring out the lovely, the wonderful Rao. Give it up for Rao.
Hello. It's a miracle that I'm here. Today's been really crazy. Just a really quick note about myself. I used to write and perform poetry a lot, and I stopped about like 4 years ago, I think. I did write a poem specifically for tonight, but the other two are some of my older poetry. So be gentle with the first one. I'm very out of practice. But the first one is called Monsters in the Closet. I've been hiding from monsters since I was 12. They live inside my mind and they're in the closet, but so am I. I'm trapped here among pink skirts and suit jackets, stuck between wire hangers and bathroom cleaner. I'm scrubbing the floor at 2 a.m. to hide my footsteps that tiptoed from the closet to dip-toe into rainbow waters. But I'm cautious at the crosswalk of the parade because even amongst my people, I am afraid. Gold star lesbians who believe I will cheat because I love all planets and stars alike, and men who think they're straight when I present as my genitalia and not as myself. I don't cut my hair because the monsters smell my secrets like cuffed jeans and rolled sleeves. I stuff my masculine self into a tiny girl-shaped box because if I show him through the crinoline dresses, I might be called a fake, a falsehood, a trans trender. Even though he is just a part of me, as much as she is, as much as they are, as much as I am. I want to be free from this flesh prison that's been smacked with pink paintbrushes since birth. I want to run through all the colors with abandon. I want the monsters to accept me as I have accepted them because they aren't monsters at all. They're just people like me, but I am not just one thing. I am a part of the universe. I am cosmos and galaxies. I am dark matter and black holes. I am a dazzling star and I want to share my light. But Ro is just too shy. They just aren't ready yet. That was the first one. Sorry, I feel like super nervous doing this. Like I said, really out of practice. This next one is one of my older ones. I go hot and cold with whether I actually like this one or not, but I thought it would give you guys kind of a little hint of me and some of my history. So this is called The River Man. Sharp-edged stones can break and crumble under the gentlest force. Something so rough can dissipate, become something insignificant. I saw him across the room, and I panicked. He hadn't seen me. I sat and waited while the anxious brook babbled on in my head, and then he found me. He sat. We talked and chatted. I felt this connection like the moon to the sun. He ran over me. Not like a car. No, that would be too easy. He ran over me like a river. A soft, gentle tumble of waves and ripples. I felt comforted, safe, knew he would protect me. I lost a shard of stone, just a pebble. I didn't mind. A stormy season came along. This creek ran strong across my bones. I melted into his riverbed. I didn't see the dark clouds because he held his blue-green blanket over me. I felt my edges soften. I was weakened. I didn't mind. Still, this persistent current beat me down. I started to feel crushed. The sand was no longer soft around me. It shook and quaked with the force of the waves. I tried to move with it. I couldn't. I was stuck right where I was. My solid form was smooth and slick. I didn't have my strength, my force, my sharp edges that kept me safe. I did mind. I wanted to be myself again. I wanted to be me. But this river, it ran over me. He held me in place so he could shape me, make me what he wanted. He ran over me, this river man, left me with a scar. And now that I think back, I think I'd rather have the car. Okay. I didn't have a ton of poetry tonight. I just have one more. And this is actually kind of the reason that I stopped performing and writing poetry. I wrote this one and I felt like nothing really compared to this particular poem. It's one I didn't have to write down because it is in my soul. And I hope that after hearing it, it's in your guys' soul as well, because I think that it's a really important poem for other people to hear and really understand the message and kind of keep in mind for themselves. So it's called Selfish Wishes. And please forgive me if I stumble, because like I said, I didn't write it down. Blow out the candles on your birthday cake. Make a wish upon a star. 4-leaf clover, the year turns over. New year, new me, the best by far. We make our wishes, say our prayers, hope that someone answers. Santa brings presents to good girls and boys as long as we're kind and mind our manners. But sometimes life is not as fair. Sometimes life's a challenge. Sometimes I wonder where the middle is. I struggle to find the balance. I should always be good and sweet and kind. I should wish the best for others. If I don't, I'm selfish. If I don't, I'm heartless. And yet, sometimes I wonder. I wonder who decided what selfishness is. I wonder who decided what's fair. Should I waste all my wishes on someone else? Someone else who may not even care? And do they use their wishes on me in return? Do I get the things I'm after? And at the end of it all, I continue to question, does any of this even matter? I care for others as I care for myself. Everything is a give and take. I make 4 wishes for you and 4 wishes for me when there are 8 candles on my cake. But I feel all too often that the scale is tipped much too far to the left. Too often I feel I am wishing for others and I am left frustrated and stressed. But I was raised to feel guilty for concern for myself. Children are starving, don't you know? Yes, I know that, but are my woes unimportant? Should I be ignored? Thrown out in the snow? All of us human have feelings important. All of us human have dreams. And yet all of us human should waste them on others and leave none for ourselves. So it seems. I'm not saying that I don't care about others. I'm saying the opposite, believe it or not. I'm not saying I want to keep it all to myself. I want to share the great things that I've got. But just as I care about... I messed that up. Just as I care about the world, just as they need love and care, I deserve just as much as them. Anything less, and it isn't fair. And so I wish lots of things at the end of the day. I wish for my friends to be glad. I wish for my father to go for his dream. I wish for my mother to never feel sad. I wish for my cousin to grow up strong. I wish for my cousin to grow up safe. I wish for her happiness. I wish for her love. I wish for her courage, for her to be brave. I wish for the man I had once loved to find help and solace in life. I wish for those people of color to live a life full of love and empty of strife. I wish for those people who live life in fear because of the hijabs they wear on their heads to someday be free from judgment and sorrow. I wish everyone happiness, home, and a bed. I wish healthy hearts and happy tears to those who lie sick and in pain. I wish sunny days to those who love light. I wish cloudy skies to those who love rain. I wish upon a star. I wish all these things for you. But most importantly, I wish for myself. I wish for my dreams to come true. Because it's nice to think that there are those who are there in our hardest times, but sometimes it's good to remember that the dreams I need fulfilled are mine. Thank you so much.
Give it up for Ro! Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Ro. That was incredible. That was beautiful. I am so honored that you were here tonight sharing your soul with us. That was wonderful. First time performers are always nervous. It's okay. But you did absolutely wonderful. I'm so honored that you just shared your heart with us like that. Especially speaking from memory, speaking from the heart. I'm blown away. I'm impressed. You did such a wonderful job. Thank you, Ro. And as you were saying, you hope that you can be a light in this world, and you are absolutely a light in this world. You brought so much light tonight as our final performer. Thank you so much, Ro. Woo! Ro is also a strong advocate and a member of the LGBTQ community. So make sure that you're looking out for the LGBTQ community. Check out that It Gets Better project. It's great. There's funding and awareness for the LGBTQ community. So check that all out. Thank you so much. So we're going to be closing out in a minute, but I wanted to, if my performers can indulge, those of you who are still here. Scott said that was incredible. I love how you guys love each other. It's wonderful. It makes me so happy. I know we're going a little bit longer tonight, but I want to do something special if my performers will indulge in my little plan here. I'm going to bring everybody out, and I was going to do a solo cajon thing, but why would I be by myself when I have such great performers here? So I'm going to bring everybody out, and we are going to do a special cajon / all kinds of other talents performance dance. If you guys want to just you could just dance along too. Bear with me. I'm going to bring you all out, and we are going to do the Monster Mash. Because it's Halloween, almost. It's almost Halloween. So we are going to do the Monster Mash. I'm going to bring all of my performers up, and we are going to do the Monster Mash. Bear with me. Hold on. I want to get a little screenshot of this. Performers, make your scariest face. Make your scariest face. Ah. Ah. Love it. All right, cool. Oh, wait, hold on. Do it one more time. One more time. Wait.
She's
Love it. Okay, so.
Oh, so cute.
There's just a blurry version. It's just a blob. You'll see it. You'll like it. Just a blobby rodent. Just perfect. Okay, so what we are going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to hop on the cajon, and if you want to play an instrument or just dance or do whatever, we are going to do the Monster Mash. And those who are still watching, if you want to do the Monster Mash with us, let's go. I'm going to pull this up. This is my favorite version of the Monster Mash. It's a band called the Bonzo Dog Buddha Band. They're really great.
What is she?
I love that. I love that version.
It's my favorite. The Bonzo Dog Buddha Band. They were just
was not programmed to have a massive skyscraper being play with that.
Share my screen and my audio. Do that again and make sure my audio is shared. Thank you guys who are sticking through. If you're still watching and you want to shout out and you're like, oh, I'm doing the Monster Mash with you guys, let me know and I will give you a huge shout out. Thank you, thank you, thank you guys for being here. Let's do it. I'm going to hop on my cajon and on the count of whatever. On the count of 3, we're going to do the Monster Mash. 1, 2, 3.
Introduce you to the electric spoons. You'll notice that the Brainiac device is already in place, and the professor is introducing the special magnetovoltage with the oral stricture, and hence the maximum voltage is up, and in a few moments the countdown is going to begin. The special rubber gloves are inserted, and the switch in place. The professor's confident, he is dribbling. The countdown begins now.
Make sure that you are checking out all those GoFundMe pages and all of those charity pages on the Facebook page. Feel free to ask for it, message me, ask for how you can support and donate to anywhere that we mentioned tonight. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for watching tonight. Thank you so much for your support. This was awesome. This was so much fun. Everybody, I'm gonna pull everybody up. Whoa, okay, more bonzos are playing back there. All right, everybody, take a bow! Oh, I'm so proud of all of you. Thank you so much for a wonderful, wonderful night. Take a bow. Thank you for being here. I love you all. With all the technology stuff, all the spooky, scary things that might have gone on tonight, you guys were amazing. You were incredible light in all of this darkness. And I can't thank you enough for being here. Those of you who are tuning in, hope you check it out next year. We're coming back in November, which will be super exciting. So keep an eye out for that. And thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Woo!
Happy Halloween.
And happy